Okay. Good morning, everyone. So we are in the chapter number 3, right? So we already completed till the chapter number 2, and now we are in the chapter number 3, that is functions, right? In yesterday's session, we had completed, or you can say, the call by value and call by reference. We have completed, right, in the yesterday session. Now, same like your C, you can implement that functions, or you can say that type of functions, which is user defined function. You can declare, define, and call your user defined function, same like your C, right? And if you want to use that concept using header file, you can do that. Okay, now we have, yes, so now we have one more facility, or you can say the basics of function, how your function will work, right? So behind, when you are calling one function, at that time, what is the procedure, right? Behind your system will cover in this lecture. Now, the new facility which your C++ will provide, that is inline function, right? So today we'll discuss these many things also, that how your inline function will work, what is the basics of your inline function, and how can you implement that in your code. Okay, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing, that every time our function is called, right? Whenever we'll write function name with, if our parameter is there and with the semicolon, our function is called, right? It takes a lot of extra time in executing a series of instructions for tasks such as, now which type of task they were performed, they're going to perform when I will call one function, right? When I'm calling one function, it will take some time. For what purpose? For the jumping to that function, saving the registers, pushing the arguments onto the stack, and return to the calling function, right? Now, if I have one program in that, I have integer sum, you can say integer a comma integer b, and I have so many lines over here, right? And if I write integer main, and from that main I'll call my function. Okay, that is r is equals to sum 4 comma 5, and here it will return is. Okay, now if it will return something from this function, right? What it will do? The program is doing something like, you can say, if I'm calling this function from the integer me, what it will do? First of all, it will save the current, you can say, position into the stack, right? That I am at this position. Why? Because after completion of your function call, it will always return into the function calling line. Okay, so if I call my function from here, so that's why compiler needs to save this location for the return purpose. Okay, they need to find that the last point of your, you can say, the compile. Okay, so what it will do, it will save the current location. Now it will jump to your exact function, that is sum, right? It will jump over here. Now turn by turn it is initializing with every function, do the all these stuffs and return your values and come back over here. Okay, now if it will come back over here, what it means, now they are returned to the function. Okay, so now my function work is complete. So it will take some time to jump to that function, saving the registers. That means in my program, if I'm using 3 to 4 variables, so they requires to store the current location as well as needs to refer that many addresses and uh, do the procedure, or you can say complete the logic of that function, and then it will return. Okay. Now, when a function is small, a subsequential percentage of execution time may be spent in such overheads. Now, what is, you can say, overheads? So, overheads is nothing but this is known as, you can say, a time uh, to take by your compiler for these many processes: jump, save, push the arguments, and return to the function, right? So, if my function is small, but still they need to do all this stuff every time when I'll call my function, right? That if only one line is present in my function, then also they needs to do that many stuff for that only one line. Okay, so your overhead will increase, or you can say this type of overheads may spend more time, because if 1 second time will take over here, but to jump, save, return, it will take more than that time. Okay, so for that they require, or they implement some new concept in our C++, right? But before that new concept, we'll see the macros. Okay, so one solution to this problem is to use macro definitions. You are very much clear with that macros. Okay, and if don't, we will explain, or will complete it afterwards. Okay, now macros is what, you can write a hash define variable name with some values. Okay, this is known as macros. So if you will use that variable name in the program, you can every time refer that macros. Okay, so what it will do, say for example, hash include, hash define I is equals to 3.1. You can see. Okay. So what it means? It means you are using some, you can say, the concept of macros in my program. Okay. Now, macros is nothing but, you can say that I am defining something which is every time referred with the this value. Okay, so if I'll write pi in my code in integer main, if I'll write s equals to pi multiplied with 6, that means this pi is every time referred with 3.14, replaced with 3.14. Okay, so this is, you can say, one of the solution, but you can say this is preprocessor task. Okay, macros is known as preprocessor. Now, what is preprocessor? So if you can say that I have the pre-processing methodologies in my compiler. Okay, so now preprocessor is something when your actual process will start, or you can say when I want to complete my program. Before that, your preprocessor is ready with that basic things. Which type of basic things? So you can say hash include your header file. So it will keep ready with your header file. It will keep ready with your every macros, so that your you can say program will run fast. Okay, so this is the task of your pre-processor. Before your actual processor, or before your actual process, your pre-processor is ready with some of the materials which will going to be used in your actual program, right? So your macro is one of the portion of pre-processing method. Okay, so pre-processor macros are popular in C, right? So you are, I think, very much familiar with this macro. Now, the major drawback of your macros is what? So you can say they are not really functions, and therefore the usual, you can say, the error checking process is during the compilation. But here the error checking does not occur during the compilation process. Why? Because this is your macro. So the, you can say, if I want to declare this, they can use it easily. Yes, I know. Over here I need to write this. Okay, so that's why you can refer, this is pi equals to 3.14. And if I'll write hash include with my header file, then you can say this is also one type of, you can say, the pre-processing task. Okay, that your header file content is ready while you are compiling the code, because this is the work of your preprocessor. Okay, so the work of your preprocessor. will be ready with the your header files, you can say. Okay, now, so if my macro is you can say used in C, but here also we have one more facility that this is inline function. Okay, so instead of macro, why we require to use inline? Okay, so C++ proposes a new features called inline function to eliminate the cost of calls to these small functions, right? As we have discussed that if my function is with the only single line, still, and then also it will take some more time. Okay, okay, so you can say the overhead of your function is increased, so it will take only smaller amount of time, but jumping, saving and returning from that function will take more than that time. So to reduce that cost of call, we are you can say the ready with the new function, you can say inline function. Now what is the use of inline function and why we need to use inline function? So an inline function is, you can say, one of the function in which your code replaces the function call directly. How it will replace? Just wait, it will come up with the next slide. Now the compiler places the function call with the corresponding function code. Okay. So what it will do, if okay, this is for the smaller function. If my function will contain 1 to 2 lines, at that time I can use this inline function to reduce the cost of call. Okay, or you can say to reduce the function overhead. Okay, to reduce the time which will take in while I am jumping, while I'm saving, and while I'm returning from that function, right? So to save that many time, I will use, while I have 1 to 2 lines in my function, at that time I can use that inline function. Okay, so what it will do? So it will, you can say, replace the function call with the corresponding function code. So where is my function call? Here is my function call. So it will replace at the time of compilation process. It will replace this code with this line. Okay. Yes. So you can say the jumping time, the saving of that and returning time will be reduced over here. Okay, so that's why we'll use the inline function. Okay, so inline function should be short. You can say preferable 1 to 2 lines. Okay, but because the use of inline function results in duplication of the code of the function for each invocation of the inline function. Okay, every time while I am calling the inline function, every time it will replace your call with the code. Okay, so if it is preferably that your function is in, you can say a short function, it is in the 1 or 2 line. Okay, so now how it will work and what is the syntax of inline function? Okay, till, is there any doubt? Okay, how to use and what is the, you can say, the functionalities behind your inline function, we'll discuss. But till now, is there any doubt? Okay, so here is the syntax of inline function. Now, with the keyword of inline, we can declare our function as inline. Okay, so inline keyword with the function header, or you can say function name, then our function body. Okay, and in the integer main, we have function call. Okay, so say for example, inline with double cube. Cube is the function name and double A is the function argument of inline function. Same like a normal function, we can declare the function as inline. But when my function will, you can say the function body is ready with only 1 to 2 lines, at that time, preferably one. Right, at that time I can declare the function as inline. Okay, so it will return the a multiplied with a multiplied with a. Okay, and the function call, it will, you can say 3.0 as well as you can say the 2.5 plus 1.5, but it will return over here. Okay, now over here, what is the major task? When I'll call the inline function, at that time it will replace my function call with the function body, but at the compile time process. Okay, now say for example, I'll take one example. Okay, yes, before we move further, your inline function is also depends on your compiler. Why? Because I am not giving the command to my compiler that make this function inline. I am requesting, right? I am requesting my compiler that my function will contain two lines. While I am writing inline over here, at that time my compiler can understand that maybe this function will contain one to two lines. Okay, so at the time of compilation process, my compiler can decide that for this function, should I need to you can say give this function procedure as an inline or as a regular? It is upon your computer also, right? I am requesting my compiler writing with the inline, right? That if my function is inline, so you can replace my function code with the function call with the function code, right? I'm requesting compiler. So this is not the command for compiler. Okay, so if my function will contain 3 to 4 lines and still I'll write inline over here, your compiler will refuses to make it inline. Okay, so it will run like as normal function, because I'm requesting compiler, I'm not giving the command to compiler, right? Okay, so how can you use it in the function? Okay, till now, is there any doubt? Just write it in the chat, yes or no. Yes, am I audible? Okay, so is there any doubt related with the inline, how to declare and how to use? I will explain. Okay, thank you, Ashish. Okay, now what? Yes, you can say my compiler will compile my code faster. Okay, why? Because it will take too much time for the overheading process, that it will jump from 1 to 2. When my function will contain 1 to 2 lines, still that process is same. It the function needs to jump to the function body, save that and use that all the variables, and then return to my function. Okay, so the process is same, but if I'll make that function inline, so what it will do, it will just I'm requesting the compiler, and compiler can imagine, yes, now this function is inline, so it may be possible that this function will contain 1 to 2 lines, right? So if my 2 lines will take more time, right, to go to that place and return to one more time. Okay, so instead of that, what compiler will do? Compiler just replace your code with the actual code, right? So the time is, you can say, saved, right? So the jumping time and returning time is reduced, right? But still, this is the request to my compiler, but it's up to the compiler that if my function will contain lower lines, then and only then it will allow me to do my function work as inline. Otherwise, as the same like our regular function, it will work. Okay, so you can say this is the one type of facility which will provided by the C++ language. Okay, now I have one small program with the inline. Okay, so first what I'll do, I'll make one function inline integer add comma integer here. In that, what I'll do, I'll just return a plus b. Okay, only one line code. Now, if here I'll call the function add the x comma y. So what I'll do over here, so first of all, I'll make my function inline, right? Now, at the time of compilation process, what my function, my compiler will do, starting from this, it will assign x, y, and z. Then it will take values x and y from the user. Now, at the time of function calling process, right? What it will do, I am writing add x comma y. So what it will do, find out the add, yes, add over here. Okay. So what it will do, so if my function is in line, at that time I am requesting my compiler that please accept my request for the integer add function to make it as inline. Okay, so what it will do, it will replace this code with this code. Okay, so no need to jump over that, just it will replace this with the return a plus b at the time of over here. Okay, no need to go that function particularly. Okay, they have this code, and it may be possible that at compile time it will replace. Why? Because it will contain only one line. Okay, so the inline, that means in the same, you can say next to next, I can directly print the result over here. Okay, so this is the procedure. Okay, just wait. Okay. Okay, so in which position or in which environment our inline function will not work, I'll explain. We have that slide. Okay. Yes, over here. Okay, but till that, is there any confusion in this code? Yes or no? No, it can't be recursive. Yes, I'll explain, don't worry. Just till how to write the inline function, why we need inline function, and what is the benefit of inline function. Is there any doubt? This topic is also important, related with your examination purpose also. Ma'am, can you again explain? It's working. How it will work? Shubham? Okay. So you can say this is the procedure. So your function call, you can say at the time of compiling process, what your compiler will do for the inline function. So the compiler places the function call with the corresponding function code, right? So function code which will contain 1 to 2 lines. So that's why they will write over here that inline functions should be short. Okay, so preferable one to two lines. One line, if it will contain one line, this is more feasible. Okay, now this is the work of your inline function. While your inline function is there, okay, so what it will do, your function body will replace with the function call at the compilation process. Okay, so that's why I am requesting my compiler that please make my function inline. Okay, so while I'm requesting, at that time my compiler can understand, yes, this function will contain, uh, you can say one to two lines, right? So if I make this function as inline, so I can save my time, right? Your compiler can imagine this many process. Yes, if I make this function as inline, if I'm allowing this function as inline, then I can save my time. Okay, which type of time, or you can say how they can uh, uh, save that time, using to no jump to that function, no return to that function. So that type of overhead is not there. So you can say I am reducing the cost of call. Okay, so it may be possible that my function will contain so many lines, and still I am writing the inline in my function, right? So at that time your compiler will not allow you to make your function inline. So instead of that, yes, process is the same, okay, but it will do the code same like a normal function, not like inline. Okay, okay, Shubham. Yes, yes, Shubham. Okay, what's your doubt? Just right. Okay, so as we discussed earlier, that the speed benefits of inline function diminish as the function grows in size, right? So it will not give you the proper way to do that things. Okay, so at some point the overhead of the function call becomes small compared to the execution of the function, and benefits of inline function may be lost. So that's why you can say I am sending a request, not a command to the compiler. So it's up to the compiler, not totally dependent on you. Okay, not totally dependent on the programmer. I cannot force to my compiler that make this function inline every time. Okay, this is depends on the compiler, that if they want they can, if they don't want it will work as a normal. If we can't inline more than one line code, if we can't line more than one line code, uh, so what you want to, how we use it for betterment of our code? Yes, function overheading is, you can say that these many processes. This is known as, you can say, overhead, jumping to the function, saving registers, pushing that argument onto the stack and returning to the calling function. This is, you can say, the cost of overhead. Yes, so here they were mentioned when a function is small, but this type of procedure is high. So you can say a subsequential a percentage of execution time may be spent in such overheads. So this is, you can say, the overhead, right? Okay, now have we use it for betterment of our code? Yes, so I explained you that if I have only one line in my one function that return a plus b, it will contain only one line. So instead of doing the same thing, traditional method, what I'll write inline over here. So I'm requesting my compiler that if you can, then just save time over here. Why? Because my function will contain only one line. So if it will make your function inline, what it will do, it will take your code from that place to over here, right? So what it will do, this is nothing but it will reduces the overhead. No need to go there, no need to return from that point to the over here, right? I can access the same code from here only, okay, at the compile time, and doing only by the compiler. We can't do, or we can't force your compiler to do the same thing. Okay, Shubham? Yes. Okay, this is up to your compiler. Okay, now is there any doubt? Anyone? Okay, and in which case, or you can say, and in which environment, no, not in which environment, you can say in which, yes, okay, in which situation you cannot use inline. Okay, so here is the, you can say, the things. Now, some situations where inline functions may not work. The situations are for functions returning values if a loop, a switch, or a goto exist, right? In a loop, what we are doing, we are every time, you can say, jumping to one variable and another, and increment with one, and one more time, one more time, one more time, right? So it will take more time. So we cannot use inline at that time. We cannot use inline in the switch, and we cannot use goto while I am using inline, right? Goto will not, you can say, use with inline. Why? Because goto will, you can say, jump from one place to another, and inline don't want that many things in the program. Okay, so that's the problem. Now, for functions not returning values, if a return statement exists, right? So at that time also you cannot, the beneficial situation is not, you can say, that use the inline at that time. Now, if function contains static variables, so if your function will contain static variable every time, what it will do? You can say the variable things will always static, so they need to find out the exact value at that time, and that many processes will also take, or you can say, they increase the cost of overhead. Okay, and if inline functions are recursive, so you cannot give the recursive functions inline. Okay, so you cannot use that concept in the inline. Now, we have macro facility also, and we have inline facilities also. So instead of macro, they were suggesting, they are suggesting you that instead of macro you can use inline, right? But why we need to use inline instead of macro? Why it is beneficial? And the reasons are over here. Okay, now, so similar to inline function, macro is another kind of function that makes C++ program compact. Okay, now, a macro contains a sequence of code which is replaced by the C++ compiler by generating the actual machine code for the program, right? Now, machine code is, you can say, understandable by the machine. Okay, so at the time of, you can say, the process of compilation process, pre-processing process, and the final output, at that time we had discussed that what is the output of machine code, and uh, what is the, you can say, the input of machine, and what will be the output of that machine. Okay, so at that time we were already discussed this many things. Okay, it will take more memory but less time. Macro, right? Macro will take more memory but less time. But why it is beneficial instead, sorry, why inline is beneficial instead of macro? Okay, so here is the reasons. Okay, before we move. No, you can say every time it will not, you can say the more overheading is that. Why? Because if my function is recursive, so you can say at least 2 to 3 times they need to come back and check the condition, one more time jump, and one more time come back, right? So it is depends on your compiler also. Okay. So you are advised to use an inline function instead of macro because of following reasons. What are the reasons? So inline functions are parsed by the compiler, whereas macros are expanded by the C++ preprocessor. So before your compilation process, your pre-processing, at the time of pre-processing, your macro is expanded. Okay, now what is macro expansion? I think you are clear with that thing. Okay, what is macro expansion? Are you aware with that concept? No? Okay, okay. So okay, so macro expansion is, you can say, at the pre-processing time. Okay, so it will identify the something that at this many place I need to replace my code. That instead of that p I need to put 3.14. I need to put 3.14. Right. So this is, you can say, thing of macro expansion. Okay. In macro also, at the time of, you can say, system programming subject. Okay, I don't know that that subject is in your syllabus or not, but if it's not there, then you can say in the compiler design also you can you can implement the how macro will expand and what is the things of macro expansion. Okay, so not that much, will not go in that much deeper way, but we can just say that macro expansion is something, you can say that at which place I'll write macro, right? Instead of this also you can say hash define pi is equals to 3.14, right? So instead of that pi we need to write, or they need to change the value with the 3.14, right? If I'll write z equals to pi plus I, c equals to pi minus y, right? So at the time of, you can say, pre-processing, we can identify that yes, I have this pi, and I need to expand this. Expand this means, you can say, they can replace with this value. Okay, so your compiler can easily process at the time of compilation process. Okay, so it will you can say the keep ready with that, that if compiler will identify pi, directly replace with 3.14, assuming 3.14 minus y, and y value is something x y z or 6 7 or something, maybe whatever the thing. Okay, so this is, you can say, the macro expansion, right? So you can say the before compilation process they need to expand the macros. Okay, so whereas macros are expanded by the C++ preprocessor. Okay, and here our code is replaced at the time of compilation process. Okay, so here is the one difference. Another, the invocation of macro does not perform the type checking, right? It is directly replacing the code, whereas the calling of inline function performs the type checking. Okay, so how it will, so you are, I think, clear with that, that function is run same like your normal function, but the only thing is change is I am requesting, not more than that. So the type is mismatched in my function call and function body. At that time they can identify easily. Okay, so macros are not type safe, as we have discussed that it cannot perform the type checking process and can be expanded regardless of whether they are syntactically correct or not. Okay, so expand means you can replace that values with the name. Type checking. So you don't know what is type checking. If I'll write integer add over here and I'll write integer a in this, and in integer main if I pass, you can say the pair or maybe with a different variable. That at the time of calling process, my variable actual and you can say formal variable will not be matched with the, each other's data type. Okay, so add I'll pass 7.6 and zero point 0.6 value will not be considered over there, or you can say this is type mismatch, right? So this kind of things. This is type checking. Okay. 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 So are you now clear with the macro expansion? Okay. So you can say in other terms at the time of machine code, or you can say at the time of your system programming subject, or maybe in the time of compiler design process, we can design the things. Okay, something like add R1 comma R2 and mnemonics type of code, right? If you are aware with that things, I don't know that are you aware or not, but just don't go in that deeper way. Just assuming that your compiler macro will contain this many things and it will expand at the time of pre-processing process. Okay, so your preprocessor will do this many things for the macros. Okay. Okay, so in inline function, is there any confusion? Just say yes or no. No. Okay, I'll ask anyone. Okay, Sampanna, can you hear me? Yes, Sampanna, can you hear me? Just unmute yourself. I am okay if you don't know the answer. Okay, Sandesh, can you hear me? But if you are not replying me, I'm assuming that you are not in my session. Okay, so just quick, you can say revision type of thing. Okay, in which situation my inline function will not be beneficial? Okay, just write. Those who are aware with the things, they can write the answer. In which situation my inline function will not be beneficial? It will not work same like inline will do. Okay, when the code is large, very good. Other than Sandesh, if you know the answer, they can write. In which situation my inline function will not be preferable? Okay, static variable with recursive function, right? When a code is big, when we are using a loops recursive function, very good. Switch case also, non-returning value, very good. Okay, okay, good. What is the benefit of inline function? Okay, you can say compile time. Okay, if I'll say runtime, then it is dynamic function. Save memory space, good, to reduce the cost of calls. Yes, correct.
Ma'am,
Yes.
how I can say that it's compile time because it depend on compile, ma'am. Then how many time take for execution the program?
Okay, you can say compile time. Why? Because just over here, what it will write over here to you, that the compiler places the function code with the corresponding function code. Okay, as well as you can say yes. So it will parse the values at the to the your compiler at the compile time. Okay, overhead does not occur to reduce the cost of codes. Okay, good. Okay, now you can write your enrollment number with the class and department. Okay, so Okay, those many students who are still remaining with the project title submission process, they just complete it within the 2 days, today or tomorrow. Okay, if you have still any doubt, then just let me know, I'll help you out, and I'll not allow you to change the definition afterwards, right? So be careful while you are submitting the form. Okay, one girl submit me something, I can say the other things, but I'm okay with that. Just submit it the correct form other than that. Okay, I forgot the name. I think Gloria. Yes, Gloria, are you there?
Ma'am,
Hello,
can we
ma'am.
change the topic?
Sorry.
Can we change the topic?
Ca- can I suggest the topic? Do you want to say something like this? Yes, Harishu, what you want to say? Turn by turn.
Can we
Adam,
change the topic of project?
why you want to change
Yes,
the
me,
topic?
ma'am. I'm Adam. I was just gonna go.
Hmm.
No,
Yes,
I don't want to change the topic. I was going to ask you if there is any PDF, if there is any PDF files, because I don't have that good internet connection all the time. So, if I want to study after the lectures is done or something, so I was just going to ask if there is any offline PDF files to study from it.
sorry, you what you want? You want recording of these lectures?
I was just going to no, I was just going to ask if there is
Hmm.
any offline PDF files so I can study from
Offline
them after the
PDF
lecture.
files. Yes, after the lecture, this lecture is available in your drive. You can download it
Yes.
in, and you can check these videos. This videos, same video. Okay, so this is available in your institute. You can say mail IDs drive, right? It is available in your drive.
Okay.
And one more thing,
Okay, thank you.
I have uploaded one book, the PDF of one book, which is object oriented programming with C++ book. The soft copy of that book, reference book, is available in
Yeah.
your e-content, right? So if you want, you can refer it from that also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay, Harry, so why you want to change the topic?
Ma'am, I want to be specific.
So right now, are you completed with that process? Did you submit me the name of your project?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So are you in which batch?
But see,
Batch C. So I think your lab will come in the next week, right?
all right.
Okay. So just mail me once the everyone is completed with that process. I'll allow you to change the definition once everyone is completed with the process, right? So that I can verify that how many of you are still remaining and who wants to change the topic, right? But now and onwards, if you are still remaining with that process, just finalize your definition first or title first, and then change. Then afterwards, I'll not allow you to change that definition. Okay, so make sure you are going to give me the correct definition. Someone write the wrong things in the uh, project title, I'll not allow you to change afterwards. Okay, because it will lead you something like you are not very much clear with the that topic. Okay, so first of all, be clear with your definition, and then submit the form. Okay, Hariso, so I'll inform you.
Yes, I got it, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, is there anyone who is still remaining with the attendance? They just submit me the attendance.
Let me try. Ma'am,
Yes, Gloria.
ma'am, excuse me.
Yes,
I
yes.
I mistakenly in the Google form which you sent us to write the project.
Yes, yes, I know, I know. That's why I have informed you in the lecture that did you submit it successfully or you submit me with the wrong data?
The wrong data, like I was supposed to send that in the this design thinking class.
Okay,
There's
okay,
project for another class, yes.
okay. So just mail me in the same mail, or you can say you can mail reply me in the same mail that
Mm-hmm.
due to this reason I provide you the wrong data. So here is my correct data, right? So you can
Okay.
provide me the correct data with the mail. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So just reply on that mail and provide me your enrollment number, name, definition, and all those stuff in the mail only,
Okay,
instead
ma'am.
of that Google form.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So next time be careful. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.